team, it's me Jason. We're going to be going over Bitcoin. I'm going to create a map for you guys in real time, showing you some very important things and why I believe Bitcoin is has already hit its top. And I'm going to show you in three major ways using simple projection analysis on the monthly chart. After I tell you the story, I'm going to show you these three projections that show that this is the top at 60, at the previous high right here. Okay, we're going to show you guys that in just a moment on the weekly chart. Before I showed you that chart, I'm going to be showing you a quick view of this chart, which is the Bitcoin USD daily chart, which means each one of these little candles represents 1 day's worth of 1 day's worth of time. I already performed star analysis on this chart already, so we know that all the points in the past will reflect points into the future. And almost all of them have their validations and are verified, and they have responded quite accurately, even today's move last night. So it's pretty accurate. We were expecting some moves to certain star levels that we have, but this is a new creation of a star analysis. I just performed this a few hours ago, but I just wanted to let you guys know that what's happening today. We are expecting some down moves, and but let's build a new Bitcoin chart. I'm going to show you exactly what it looks like. I'm going to be drawing a few lines and a few swing points, and I'll show you where they are. The first one is going to be here. Okay. This is going to give us a resistance right up here, and that was created by taking the points from the very beginning back in 2011 to this swing here. We did cross and hit it right there, but then we also went above. We'll be connecting that swing here. The next one we'll be connecting is this one here to that same swing point. Okay. We will also continue that out. We are going to draw a resistance line at the course from here to here. I'm going to draw that as green because it would have been red when price was underneath. When price comes across, it acts as a support. The next point I'm going to draw is from this previous swing here. I'm going to color this purple. I already completed this in my picture, so I'm just completing this now for you guys here. Creating a parallel channel, I'm going to start here, move to the top here. Here, move to the top there. It's going to give me a mid-phantom that is verified. Mid-phantom. And from here, I'm going to show you the first of these projections, okay? So there's a lot of story in here. We're not going to go cover everything, but I'm going to cover some major points. First, I want you to take a look at this. If you take a screenshot, we're going to measure these scores pretty accurately. Then we're going to take that, we're going to duplicate it by taking our lasso tool, duplicating it, and bringing it out to the last point from which price took off. And this is going to give us the roof, which is approximately there. You draw it out, and you can see that we are still at these roofs here. And this is from a foundational point. Now this mode, you can only see that if you're looking through price that is in logarithmic. Okay, otherwise price is going to be distorted and skewed through the lens of the United States dollar, which you lose a lot of valuable data and information. So this is the first point I wanted to point you out to. There is a resistance at that level, okay, on the monthly chart. The second one that we're going to take a look at is the second leg of the run, which is this one right here. So let's give that a different color. Just say we give this green. There we go. Take that, do the same thing. You can duplicate it out, put it right on top, and what does it give you? It gives us those same levels, but now we're hitting into the wicks. Okay. Now, there's a bunch more lines. Let's do some more. Okay, but this is the first one I wanted to show you. Still using the monthly index, another channel is going to be created that's going to help tell the story. Already we can see that price was caught in this channel and moved up, hit mid-phantom, stopped just a little bit short. See how we hit mid-phantom, and then we post up, came back down, tested that, came again to these roofs, came down, stopped on mid-phantom for a little bit, then got stuck in that crevice one more time, and then we were able to go down. We came to a nice swing area and stopped again right at mid-phantom twice before coming down to the bottom of this channel. Okay. The next few lines to note from when we last took off was here, but there was some major points to draw. And one of the major things we're going to draw is you want to draw your flow, which creates a sword cut right there. Take a look. Here, from where we last left off, boom, there you are. And now you know what your resistance level is. It came down, swung right to sword cut, and came down. Okay, so this was absolutely an area. There's also another hidden sword cut that was created by mid-phantom itself, and it was created right here. Well, not a parallel. Here's where mid-phantom left off. When mid-phantom cut through price, it also created these pain points, which I call sword cuts. Price came down to the bottom of the sword cut, came up to the top sword cut, and came down to form a new pattern. At this point, we would have taken trend lines and began to draw and cut these down to size. Let's draw them with, just say, green. Okay, make it a bright green. Let's make that and turn that thickness up just a little bit more. Now you can see that price is responding correctly. Here, when price broke above this level, we actually were experiencing a breakout. Price came back down, sat on that level, and then we were able to take off from there, at least to mid-phantom. Price tried to break above and did just ever so slightly. That gave it the edge to continue higher. However, a new channel was created once we created this one right here. Let's draw that for you. You can see it. This would have its own phantom and mid-phantom, which would have cut price approximately here. This is the point to watch out for, just right there. Okay, a new channel would have been created from this point to that point to that point. You can extend that out if you would like, and you can see some more information. Not to the left, but to the right. As we extend price out to the right, you can see that it formed a new foundation for price to sit down. So this was the channel, price was in this channel, and then we broke above and we're able to come up to this level and come back down and sit on here. So that's where we have been on the monthly chart. You can see it a little more clearly if we go down to the weekly chart. So we change our time frame to a weekly chart, and now you can see price reacting more accurately. See, exactly, and sitting on top of it, exactly. And then this helps you read these areas a lot more accurately as you're letting price tell you the story and unfold. However, something else to watch out for. Now that we know the area from which the cut was made, we can take our projection, and this time let's use blue, measuring the highest point of the last leg, bringing it down here. Take your lasso tool, duplicate it, bring it up to the bottom of this area right there, and what do you have? You have the new roof. And again, we are at the top. So you have tops here and here. Is it a surprise that we are starting to go down or starting to become bearish? This is all despite what UST.D and the analysis there and the manipulation of tether, which I always talk about USDT. But performing this new analysis, and on the weekly chart, so take a look. On that monthly chart, you have this projection fulfilled. The next leg, you have this projection fulfilled. And then now measuring this move here up, this little tiny move there on the weekly chart, which is not so tiny. It's actually, each one of these candles represents 1 week worth of time. Now you measure this one and you also are fulfilled. That's 3 fulfillments that you have, all at these levels of approximately 62,000. So what does that tell you? That tells you there's major weaknesses coming into Bitcoin. Okay, but there's a little bit more, and let's take a look. There's a few other places we can read price data, and I will show you where they are. Moving back to the monthly chart, you can take your curve tool if you need to use this to see the flows of price. However, you can see price naturally flowing up in almost an arc. See, you can observe it moving like this. This is the general flow of price. When you see these general flows, you can also use them to identify points of the shortcut, which are going to be approximately where the curve enters and where the curve exits. This is a type of parabolic shortcut that absolutely exists. However, sometimes those parabolics go straight up into the air. When they do, they create shortcuts that look something like this. And they happen to be at those same areas of price moving. This is also in alignment with the principle of infinity angles, where if we were to connect these tops from here to here, those infinity angles become infinity flats. I teach this a lot in my dive sessions, which means that these previous highs become roofs. But that's not always the case. It depends on the angle. Okay, so we have resistance here 2 times based on your flow and your shortcut, and also based on your infinity flats. So it's no wonder price reversed during these months or the last few months, or had a hard time trying to go up higher over the last few months, and at 60,000, approximately 60,000 or so. Okay, now we can go back down. Now on the weekly chart, there's another flow we see, and it's right here. Approximately these tops. You can draw them out, make the curve, and your curve should be approximately balanced. When you see price starting to arc over here, draw where the price cuts, because that's important. It creates almost a minor shortcut in that same area, but you can also just extend out your curve if you wanted to. So then it starts making sense when you zoom down to your daily chart on why price had a harder time, had an easier time staying higher once we broke above this level. See, really closely, you can see how price could not break above this level for a few days and finally popped, but then once we popped, we could go back down. See how we came down all the way to here, stopped, and then went up here, came all the way down, but still stopped. You can see how price responds to these type of curves and types of flows very naturally. And that's because there's movements of buyers and sellers, and there's waves of them coming in and out. You can read price like a language. Here's the underside of the flow. You can draw it the same way. Take a look. See, from here, 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 price cut here, and you're underneath the flow approximately here, which is that same area from which price cut, which is also a type of shortcut. So it's not so surprising that price would come up to this area, test it, and come back down. We can use that to read price levels. New shortcuts would be created where price cuts here, 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 and even you can extend that and start seeing more of these types of supports going on. It depends on the length of the established cut. That's generally about how long the cut should last. One other line we forgot to draw on the weekly chart, again, where we left off here, where the mid phantom cut through that first channel, or this green channel, I should say, that has that green line on top. We are also going to use that as our source point. So we're going to take a trend line from that point, and then we're going to measure it along the tip of the widest point here, and we're going to extend that out because that is a very critical point. That's part of the story. When you look back on price and all the actions, one action stacks up and has a response or has a behavior that could be very important. That's part of the next part of the story. And so then you begin to use that source point as the next point to start helping you find and identify where the shortcuts would be, the behaviors of price. As it starts to unfold the story, you start seeing by connecting the source points here, here, we can start seeing that it's not so surprising that price came all the way down to here at 29,000 on July 19th. It's not so surprising that we would hit this as the floor and come up sometime. And here again, we're sitting on top of that white line, which was the major channel on the monthly chart. So you knew there was foundation here, and it wasn't surprising if we went down that we would go down to this line right here, because that was part of the story. Okay. And now you can also see it's still part of the story. Price had a hard time breaking through this line. It acts like a floor. There is a few more lines we're going to draw and we'll be done. Take a look at this. You start here at the tops of these peaks and you draw them out. Okay, top, top, here. You can see it more clearly on a daily chart. See these wide swings? Price went up to the highest point, came down, came up to the highest point, came down. Finally, we broke through and a new shortcut, a smaller one, was created. And it was created where? Right here at the source point. Let's draw that out because that's going to help us identify price behavior later on. Okay, we're just going to draw that as a orange thin line, not a wider cut, because we're just now dealing in the daily charts. So now we have our story starting to unfold. Let's not change your angles, but you can click this line and then click on settings, extend line right, and it shoots the line into the future. See? Off, on, off, on. Okay. So now we have a general idea of where price is likely to stay or to have its behaviors. We should now be expecting price to stay in these areas and start responding, because we already know there's some weakness in the background. But look at this. We have ultra high, we have a very, very wide wick, and we close almost near the top. Look at the volume for this day. I'll show you. The volume was ultra high. However, it was on increasing volume. So there's going to be, that's going to be tested again in the future. I wouldn't think that we've seen the last of some of the lower prices during these current days. However, what I am expecting is that there is some health in the short term. Let me show you where it is. Here. Because of all of this, and price is now on the positive side. See how all of this happened? And then price punched up through, and now we're sitting on top of that same line. Add another support point. This is a little bit bullish at the moment, but you need to understand the principle. This is a little bit bullish, but for how long? The principle is the bigger fish always wins. You can have the best analysis in the world. However, if you did your analysis and you forgot to look out and zoom out and look at the bigger picture, then you are going to make yourself a big mistake. It's like looking and being a surfer. You're surfing and you're so focused on these smaller waves, and you start to master those smaller waves and you start surfing, but you forget Humunga Dunga is out there and it's a massive tsunami going to come in. And when that tsunami comes in, it's going to destroy all of the smaller waves. They're just going to get eaten up, and it's going to be like they weren't even there. Are you a good surfer? Yeah, you're probably the best. You're probably the best trader. Are you good at technical analysis? Sure, you probably are. You're probably the best. But if you keep your eyes from looking at the bigger picture just because you don't want to look at it, you're going to put yourself in a lot of danger. We see here in the shorter term, hey, this is actually bullish. Coming down, good prices. We already have that. Price may play in here, but there's a higher likelihood that we can come back up to some of these higher levels. And there's another shortcut right here around 60, where this red line is, 60,402. So you could say, wow, we're going up. But you need to look at the bigger picture, even with money on the table. Like, in my dive classes, I've gotten pretty advanced in some of these, and I'll show you what I mean. But for example, we hit mid-phantom pretty accurately and came down. I mean, this is pretty good. Look at how good you hit mid-phantom. But then you pressed above it. You went right above that line, even though you were at one time hitting it exactly. You went above it, and then you came down. But you weakened that glass ceiling. So now it's ready to break. It's like punching and punching and punching until you weaken the ceiling, and then you can go through. And it went through and hit those resistances. So normally, if we come back down, we would come back down to that line again. But we went all the way down really far. There's something to be aware of, guys, that even though mid-phantom's broken, and that gives us potential money on the table of up to, almost $1 million, somewhere around here on Bitcoin, which sounds crazy. I mean, but I'm, there's a lot of potential with Bitcoin. I don't think, sorry, not $1 million, 347,000. I don't think we're going to be able to hit those numbers in the short term because price needs a fully new setup. According to the monthly, on 2 different legs, we're done. And according to the weekly chart, on 1 leg, that's the major leg, we're done. That's it. There's no more higher price targets for the moment. And even in alignment with some of the prophetic community, some of them are expecting one more movement to around 62,000. This is what they've some of my liaisons in the prophetic community have reached out to me and told me, hey, we're getting some of these visions, we're getting some of these dreams where we're seeing Bitcoin about to dive from 60 something thousand. Is this the move? Did it happen tonight? I don't think this is it. We knew that this was going to happen because we were watching UST.D, and I showed you guys, hey, we're waiting for a big spike, and we're going to pop up and we're going to hit a number exactly. And I'll end the video with that. But I'm showing you now, we are on the positive side of price, but I think it's just to get one more gulp of air. Once we get that gulp of air, I don't think there's much left. I think what's going to happen is it's going to look something like this. You're going to have price swing up one more time, and that's it. And you're going to come all the way down to a low level. And I have another Bitcoin chart with a star analysis where I'm expecting price to hit around 34,000 for my Bitcoin. That's what I'm expecting. Okay, I have a star level, and it's approximately like right here. It's gonna look something like that, but it's just a little bit higher, where I think we're gonna hit around 34,000 Bitcoin if it happened right now. And I'll be updating everyone with those things because I told everybody, I promised everybody. In addition to this, I'm going to be putting this information out publicly. And so for Bitcoin, providing star analysis and doing full technical analysis on Bitcoin, not just other cryptos, but so you guys understand when things happen to Bitcoin, they happen to the rest of the market. But the truth is, they're really happening to USDT.D. So I'll end the video with this. Thank you very much for watching. There is some danger there in the longer term. Remember that. I think there's not much money on the table, and I think it's getting primed. You're getting ready for a big fall, and it needs to set up. There needs to be a setup for that. Right now, I don't have that set up just yet. Just yet, I don't have it. We still can be looking at one more big pump in the shorter term, but look at this. Here's your USDT.D. This is the chart I gave everyone for weeks. For weeks, you guys had these levels. We had these levels since the swing here. We came down to mid phantom and have been sitting on this middle line ever since. Look, came down, set down, and then we started coming up to these support lines. And what had happened? We got stuck in between them for a little bit, but then we rounded off, bounced off of them, and then broke above the channel. Now, USDT.D, when this chart goes up, Bitcoin goes down. When this chart goes up, other cryptos like XRP go down. When we finally broke above here last week, and I said, hey guys, I'm expecting, I posted this chart and I put an arrow going up saying, hey guys, we're going up, and I think we're going up to here, which was $3.26 because there's a sword cut right there. And look what happened. I had these other levels here. We have them. You have them all. You have the next angles. And we'll look at price did. It went all the way up, hit these levels, came all the way back down, and are hitting these roofs and the sword cut. And we're stopping there. You got 19 hours left before this weekly chart candle closes. If this closes underneath 3.18, then the chances of this candle, the next candle for next week, going down are higher. And what does that mean? If this candle goes down and price comes back here and rests in this area, even if it just plays around a little bit, then what does that mean? That means that your cryptos have a chance to go up. And that means that there's probably a good buying opportunities into this coming week. In fact, even today. So, these, once you start seeing these lower prices, this chart goes high, that's some fantastic XRP. That's some fantastic Bitcoin prices you're getting. And I don't think it's the end of everything just yet. Not yet. I think that's still to come. But I wanted to make this video to show everybody what I'm looking at, what I see, and we'll talk more on Monday. We're coming into Sunday now, so I'm gonna stop this video for today. But I'm gonna post this on my website. You guys you guys can show up on my website. I post lots of different crypto charts throughout the month. I'm gonna be making more exclusive videos that are not just Bitcoin related on my website, just for Patreon members. But more than that, we have dive classes where every night you get me for an hour and a half, and you sit with me and we break down these charts on how to build them together. And then often we review charts. We usually do 5 to 9 charts a night. We have an hour and a half session that we always have, and you can show up. It's a Zoom meeting. If you guys are very interested in that kind of thing, join my website, patreon.com, www.patreon.com/jsongs_7. We have dives, I think 5 classes a night where I'm teaching sword method. It's not the full class, but I give you guys a little bit of teaching almost every single night, and then I give you the rundown of cryptos, diagnosing the health, telling you if they're weak or if they're strong, if they're behaving correctly or if they're not behaving correctly, or where the major sword cut levels are, where the major flows are to watch. I've been reading price and doing technical analysis for about 19 years. So since I was a young man, we've been doing this stuff. I've been doing this stuff. So I want you guys to know. I want to teach you guys how to look for verification so you can see your mid phantoms are verified. I'll show you a lot of fun things on how to read price, because it's a language. You can take that language and you can read it on any time frame, but using certain principles and certain rules, that knowing, like, you always start with the higher time frames and move down. You create your map and come down. So thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry kind of going on, but I really wanted to share with you guys a lot of these principles and on Bitcoin, so you kind of know what really to expect. Right now, again, I don't think it's the big crash, especially the big one. That's like XRP activation. I expect that one sometime next year during a liquidity crisis, something having to do with Tether. Um, but at the moment, I do think Bitcoin's going to go up one more time for a gulp of air. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you. May the Lord look upon you with favor. May the Lord be abounding to you in grace. May he lift up his countenance towards you, and may he give you peace, friends. These are really scary times, Lord, for a lot of people. So please help them as they are, navigating price, as they're wondering what's happening to their investments, as their investments are going down and going back up and going down and going back up, and a lot of them don't understand the volatility or how to read these things. But as Prophet Robin said, that the manipulation would be more and more apparent, and it would be clear. So please make that clear to them, and that people would demand regulations, which would only further the movement and the changing of hands and changing of money, and give them good opportunities with all these good changes, make them wise investors. And that's my prayer for them. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. And that's my prayer for you guys, team. I want you guys to do good and know that these type of manipulations absolutely are going to happen. We can know the behavior, but when you have manipulation, price cannot hold it for too long. That's why you're going to see these wide, long spikes, that are like, what happened? Well, you kind of know what's supposed to happen, but you don't expect these wide arcs. Most people don't expect them. We can just the general moves of price, but with manipulation, you have money being pulled very, very far. So that happens a lot, guys, and it's going to happen more and more, and it's going to be apparent. So what you can do is you can increase your knowledge, you can increase your ability to read price action. Again, on my website, we go through tons and tons of cryptos. We build them live. You can ask me any crypto you want, and we'll take a look at it. I'll take a look at it, I should say. But yeah, guys. Anyway, I wanted to share those things with you. I haven't forgotten about you guys. I'm praying for you guys, and I think you're getting good prices on a lot of cryptos. Okay, so we'll see you in the next video. I told everybody I was going to be making a lot more videos in December, and we are in December. I was relocating, and so I'm in a whole new country right now. But now I'm getting real settled, and I've been doing dive classes for everyone. So I hope to see you guys there. Take care, team. God bless you.